Okay, in this video, we are going to start adding floors to our house on the hill. And we're going to do that in a similar way to how we added in the roof. So what I want you to do is go to the floor plan view for 01 lower level. So double click on 01 lower level, and you can zoom in and zoom out if you need to recenter it. But we want to be able to clearly see the whole thing here. So what we want to do is fill in this whole area here that's bounded by our walls with a floor slab. So to do that, let's go up here to Architecture and go over to Floor this time. We've already done walls, we've already done roof. Let's go to Floor. And if you do the little drop-down menu for floor, we'll just say Floor Architectural. That's fine. And a generic 12-inch floor comes up. Let's see if there's anything else that we might like to use here. Let's try, let's just do generic 12-inch fill. Just a 12-inch thick floor of just kind of generic material. So now this time, lower level, the level that the computer wants to put the floor on is 01 lower level. That's correct. That's what we're going to do. We don't need to offset it. We don't need this floor floating above the level or a little bit below the level. We want it right at level 01 lower level. When you put floors into a model in Revit, what Revit will do is put the top side of the floor, the finish face of the floor, flush with the floor level. So we're putting in a 12-inch thick floor here. This means the top surface of this floor will be in line with our 01 lower level level marker. The top surface of the floor will be in line with it. Even if we put in one floor type and at a later point turn it into a thinner floor or a thicker floor, that top surface will remain constant. It's almost like the top surface of the floor serves the same purpose as a location line in a wall. It's the one constant in this part that will remain unchanged regardless of if we go with a thinner floor or a thicker floor at some future point in time. So just remember, whenever you put in floors, the top walking surface of the floor will, unless told otherwise, will always be even or in line with the floor level itself. So I don't think we need to set any other parameters here. I'm just looking really quickly. Nope. So what we want to do now is, here's the ever-present red X and green check mark. We are going to draw in this floor. And let's do it let's use our pick lines command to do that. Let's use pick lines, and I am going to kind of zoom in here, and I'm going to pick this surface, this surface, this surface. Let's actually pick this surface because we want our floor to notch out to match up with we want our floors to join up with the inside face of these walls. So we're going to clean this up in just a second here. But I'm defining the edge of my floors. I'm going to go here and I'm going to do this. If we use this to demark the edge of our floor, we'd have a little gap here. Remember, these walls are only 6 inches thick. The foundation walls are a foot thick. We don't want a little 6-inch gap at the edge of our floor here. We don't want stuff rolling in there, falling in. We don't want a gap. We want the floor edge to go right out to the interior face of the walls. So having picked all these lines, now I'm going to use my trim extend to corner command, which is very much like fillet in AutoCAD, and I'm just going to join those two up. So I have this nice, neat condition here. And we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to use trim extend. When you use trim extend to corner, just click on those portions of the intersection that you want to retain. The stuff that you don't click on goes away. So that's how I always remember it. That's how I keep it straight. When you hit trim extend to corner, and you're joining up two lines, click on the portions of the lines that you want to retain. And again, if you hover over a command for more than a few seconds, a little graphic will come up explaining how to use it. So if you're lost or something, Revit is really good at explaining this stuff. So here's the shape of our floor. It's a little jogged here where our walls change thicknesses, but we've been able to accommodate that. Now we hit our green check mark. This window always comes up whenever you put in floors. Would you like the walls that go up to this floor's level to attach to its bottom? Don't hit yes or no just yet. I'm going to explain what this means. What they're asking is any walls that go up to this floor's level, do you want them to actually stop at the underside of the floor, or do you want the walls to penetrate through and stop at the floor level itself? I tend to actually say no. I've hit yes before, and it works nice and neatly with your interior walls. We want the interior walls to go up to the underside of the floor surface above, but it also affects the exterior walls. So suddenly you'll see that your exterior walls are stopping at the underside of the floor slab above, and you end up with weird reveals and grooves on the outside of the face of your building. So let's just say no, and we just have to be really conscientious. When the time comes and we put in our interior walls, we'll tell the computer that the tops of these interior walls need to join up to the underside of the floor surface above. But we don't want our exterior walls having that same condition. So once we've hit our green check mark and we said no for the walls joining the floor on the underside, the new floor is placed. It's highlighted in blue because it's selected. If you hit your modify button, that goes away. We really can't see anything from the 3D view because it's all inside. But once we start putting cameras in there and start adding in windows, we'll see our floor. Let's put in a second floor surface now at the 0202 entry level. This time we're going to kind of custom draw. We're not going to fill this entire space with floors. We're going to leave a little open area. We're actually going to create a little mezzanine here and a little double volume space so that people up here can look down to the level below and talk to them. And we're also going to have a little projection out here, a little catwalk or something that will eventually allow people to walk in, and we'll put a door here. So the next floor that we're putting in is not an exact duplicate or replica of the inside faces of the walls on this level. So let's do this. Let's go up here and we'll hit floor again. And this time we're going to hit lines. We're going to draw the floor how we want to. So we're going to hit lines. And let's see, okay, so we're going to start here at this inside corner. And we're actually going to start right here. This corner is where we can kind of see from this viewpoint the intersection of our foundation walls. These are our exterior walls on top of the foundation walls. So we're going to start in this corner here. This is where our floor slab is going to start, and we're going to go straight up to the intersection of these two exterior walls. And then we're going to pull our cursor over, and we're going to type in, move the cursor to the right, and we're going to type in 36 feet, enter. And then we're going to wheel out and wheel back in. Feel free to wheel in and out as you need to see what it is you need to see. Now we're going to go straight down 90 degrees, and we're going to go down 16 feet, 6 inches. Enter. And we're going to move the cursor to the right exactly 25 feet. And we'll move the cursor down 4 feet. 5 feet. You can see, having moved it down 5 feet, this blue dashed line tells me that my cursor is in line, perfectly in line with my starting point. Oops, actually not. Let's undo that. Let's hit modify, and we can actually delete this line. And we'll go back here to lines, and we're gonna go down, and we want to tell it 5 feet 6 inches. And again, now we're in line with our starting point. And then we just pull it over, and we've got a closed shape here. And now I can hit modify. That gets me out of this line drawing mode. And I can see here somehow I messed up in the process, and my little catwalk is a little wide for this. I wanted the edge of this catwalk to be in line with this exterior face of the wall here. So it's no big deal. We can fix that. Everything in Revit is very easily corrected. And in fact, the name Revit comes from revise it because it's so easy to revise things. So what I want to do is simply take this edge of my floor slab, this little edge of the diving board that I'm creating, and I want it in line with this outside face of this wall. So to do that, I'm going to use a command here called align. And when you click align, all you have to do is click on the line that you want something to align to, then click on the line that needs to move to align with it. And it's as simple as that. And then we'll hit modify to get out of our align mode. And I think this is what we want this floor to look like. It looks like kind of like an upside down state of Oklahoma. And we'll hit our green check mark. Again, we're going to say no. We will have to kind of keep track of our interior walls and ensure that those interior walls terminate at the underside of this floor slab. So I'm going to say no. And then if I click out here, we can now go to our 3D view, and at least we see the little, there's our little diving board. This is going to be a little catwalk that, again, allows people to come in once we start putting in doors and windows and that sort of thing. So that's it for adding our floors in. And in the next video, we'll start putting in the interior walls.